The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the number one Contender podcast, the show where your favorite man-bun nerds talk all things movie trivia schmodown. I am your host, Jarod the Dark Jedi Bachman Subs, and with me, as always, is Travis Grossman. Oh, fuck.
I told you.
You jinxed it from last week.
And
And
hasn't moved for an hour.
And joining us pretty much as always as well, only this time her disembodied voice does have a body in the room, is Alexis Capel's leg. So as you can probably deduce from the name this week,
There wasn't a live event this week.
since Travis and I never get to watch the Friday pay-per-views as they happen,
We watched them at around 11:30 Eastern, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, the night they come out. Only it didn't happen. It doesn't exist, and it won't exist for probably another hour or two. And I'm not waiting that long, and neither is Jarod. So.
no. There's a lot going on tomorrow, and I'm not trying to be in here until 6 a.m. So, yeah, we won't be talking about Roca v. Liz Shannon Miller or Bateman v. Riley tonight. Neither of us know exactly what happened during the matches themselves. You've picked up some context clues here.
Yeah.
And there.
I think someone got TKO'd in the Roca Liz Shannon Miller match. And I know why they needed to re-edit the show for the Bateman Riley match. And I know I have a feeling I know who won that one based on what happened. But I'm not going to say anything because Jarod doesn't want to be spoiled. And I don't want to be wrong.
So next week, we'll be talking about Liz Shannon Miller v. Roca and Ben Bateman v. Mark Yodi Riley. That'll all be next week. That'll probably be how we open the show next week, unless massive news happens or something huge happens. But barring acts of God, as Travis likes to say,
My favorite legal phrase.
we're just going to hold off on that. There is some news that came from the live event that is circulating that we did both see, that we'll discuss kind of as we go.
As much of it as we can.
As
anyway.
much of it as we can, since a lot of it we have zero context for. The biggest piece of news being that we and pretty much everybody else in Schmoville, as it were right about the two new big teams. We have official confirmation about Ben Bateman and Dan Murrell teaming up with the Dungeon. And
Highway to the danger zone. I'm not wearing my Dungeon shirt, or I ripped my hoodie open.
I was preparing for you to do it.
I didn't feel like fishing it out of the dryer.
That's
because
fair.
I haven't folded my laundry yet.
Hasn't it been like a couple days? It's been a couple days.
It's been like 2 days.
This continues to hopefully.
If I lived on my own in my own place, I would absolutely live entirely out of the washer and dryer. Like I would have washer, dryer, hamper, and my clothes would just cycle between those three and never hit a dresser.
That makes me sick.
Okay, removing the fact that like you guys are dating and that part does not map onto the comparison I'm about to make. Going all the way back to episode 1 of the number one Contender, this even furthers the Robert Evans, Sophie Lichterman dynamic
Yeah.
so much.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You're the producer in the corner yelling at me every time I say something stupid.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
And that gentleman who commented on our first episode, who was like, I did not expect to hear Behind the Bastards worst year ever type jokes on the Schmodown podcast. Hopefully you're still watching and this content is specifically for you.
I need to finish this week's Bastard. I'm almost done with it.
I didn't start part 2 yet.
It's very good.
This week's live event brought to you by Raytheon.
It got missiled out of existence.
He got knife missiled into oblivion. Before we jump into the matches this week, we have our confirmed slate for April. So we're going to run through that first. On April 1st, in the Inner Geekdom, we have Alex the Demon Damon versus the Barbarian. We have the beginning of the team season on April 2nd with Final Exam versus Shazam. Bradley Tingle versus Ty Lieberman in singles on April 7th. Tingle of Swag and Lieberman of the Finstock Exchange. I should probably be saying people's factions as I go. Mark Hoik, however you say his name, of Corruption versus Hyuk. Versus Griffin Newman of the Finstock Exchange. Lots of exchange early in April. Eric Whiteley of the Quirky Mercs versus Johnny Huey of the Dungeon in Star Wars. Our first pay-per-views of April will be Sassy Stacey Howard versus Kevin Smith of the Usual Suspects and the Quirky Mercs, respectively, in the singles division on April 9th. With the main event being a rematch between Adam the Coyote Collins, the current singles champion of Corruption, against Dangerous Dan Murrell. Why the fuck did I put Dan Murrell as Swag? How did I do that? I was thinking of Darrell. Clearly. Dan Murrell of the Dungeon in singles. Like I said, it is a title shot, and that'll be the main event of our first April pay-per-view. In Star Wars on April 14th, we have Adam the Razor Wit against Thomas Harper of the Dungeon and the Den, respectively, on April 14th in Star Wars. The Finstock Exchange is King Khan versus John the Flick Pick Flickinger of the Dungeon in singles on April 15th. Ben Goddard of the Den against JTE of the Finstock Exchange in singles on April 16th. Very excited for that. Very happy to have JTE back. Jessica Schloth of the Den against Beth May of the Quirky Mercs in singles on April 21st. Jacoby Bancroft of the Stars against Jacob Blunden of Corruption on April 22nd in singles. Drew McWeeny of the Usual Suspects against Lon Harris of Swag in singles on April 22nd. 23rd, thank you. My vision's going. And then on April 24th, not quite sure how and when we'll be covering it, but we will be covering it. The Free-For-All. Free-For-All 4 will be happening this year. How? I'm not quite sure. We also have official confirmation from President Grace Hancock, I guess, that the winner of the Free-For-All will get a title shot, and the MVP picks up 3 points for their faction. I know I think it should be more than 3 points personally. That's just me. I don't know if you're in agreement. I feel like it should be a little bit more than 3 points.
I think for MVP it should be like 4 or 5. Now, is it only have they changed it now? Is it only the MVP getting points?
I think so. I think the MVP gets points and the winner gets a title shot. And I think the way they're trying to
balance it is because the later in you are, the more likely you are to win. Yeah.
And then, but granted, sense. Let's be realistic. Let's say Bibbs goes all the way and he's the winner and the MVP.
Yeah, if you can get both, you get both. I actually don't hate that.
Yeah, I still feel like it should be more points, though.
It could be 4 or 5, for sure.
But I'd like 5, personally.
I like the concept of giving points to the MVP and not to the winner because of how skewed that can be.
I agree completely. On April 28th, I'm too far away from it. On April 28th, we have Brandon Hanna of the Stars against Robert Parker of the Dungeon. And then after that, we'll have the beginning of the teams tournament. Speaking of, do we want to discuss the... So we know what the teams are for the teams tournament. We just don't know who all is on what team.
We have the team names, and I only know 2 of these teams, I think. I also know 1 player for one of them.
Yes, we can discuss that because
So-
again, we'll have full context come next week once we're able to actually watch the live event that aired tonight.
Can I please? Why Snapchat? Why won't you let me zoom in?
Here,
on
I can
this?
pull it up on mine.
I got it.
KO. Okay.
I got it. I can read. I've been trying. I've been studying.
Character development, everybody.
So, our team's tournament will be Rushmore of the Finstock Exchange versus the Press Room from the Quirky Mercs.
I wonder who's on the Mount Runner, or just Rushmore.
Who's on your Rushmore? The team changes depending on who's watching. Lightning Time for the Usual Suspects versus the Outsiders for the Den. Danger Zone for the Dungeon versus the Midterms for Swag.
I wonder.
And Deception for Corruption versus Black Jackal or Blackjack. I went to Haikyuu for a minute.
I really thought part of my brain took that in as Blackle Jackal and just really thought you were going full burnt toast for a second. I couldn't tell.
Blackjack for the Stars. Janine is on Blackjack.
Yes.
And we know Danger Zone is obviously Dan Merle and Ben Bateman, which is might be the best team ever made in the Schmodown.
Which is clearly on a collision course with Rushmore.
Yeah, they did this. They seeded this very well. Because even the Schmodown is like, we all know that it's probably going to be Rushmore, which is JTE and Roca versus Bateman and Merle. That is a finals that would sell so many tickets.
You know, so winner of the team's tournament goes on to play Corruption
for a number one contender shot.
Show's over.
If that's it, we're done.
So winner of the tournament plays Chance and Mike. Winner between Chance and Mike and whomever wins the tournament goes up against the odd couple. Obviously, I want to see Corruption curve.
That's not true. That's not true.
No, I thought that's
because
what
there's
Hancock said.
Because the final exam Shazam match is also a number one contender match.
That's right. That's right.
So
that's
they'll
right.
play odd couple first, and then whoever wins that will play the winner between Corruption and the winner of the tour. There's a lot of variables right now.
Yeah, there's another one towards the end here, or that we're about to talk about next. But
that one's a little less heavy.
I think midterms is going to be somebody with John Harris.
I think you're right.
And here, wait, let me pull up the rosters so I can. I'm good. For those of you at home, I've had a gay old time over here color coding all of our show notes for number one contender to correspond with factions, so that I can just kind of at a glance see which faction I'm looking at. And I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm probably going to do that with the draft roster. Didn't put that in the folder yet. Let me look at swag.
Well, you look at that. The rest of them, after the team tournament starts, Mike Kalinowski is playing whoever wins between Damon and the Barbarian for a number one contender shot.
Oh.
And
it's Vinny. I think it's Vinny Mancuso.
Okay.
I think it's John Harris and Vinny Mancuso. That'll be cool. That'll be a cool team.
And then with that number one contender shot in a paper, because that's a pay-per-view, the main event of that pay-per-view is Odd Couple versus whoever wins between Shazam and Final Exam.
Yes.
So,
and then you said KO v Damon or the Barbarian.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be on April 30th. For your money. Give them your money.
Or just sub on Patreon where you basically get like two of them free.
Give them your money.
They only want a gift if it's money.
That's not true. I'm sure Harloff would accept crayon drawings.
I'm very sure. Harloff's the kind of guy I'd just like to give a big warm hug to, you know? Also related, before we jump into the matches that we actually watched this week, We have our first wave of first class league players.
Yeah, I have no idea who any of these people are. So.
I am only familiar with Jarod Habon. So we got Maxwell Haddad, David Campbell. I almost said Joseph Campbell. Josh Robert Thompson, Knight, Katine Marshy, Ross. Everybody, every couple people just has like a Cher, Usher, Beyonce, Knight. Tom Shadowbash, Alex Marzona. I think he's a Schmodown vet. I think I know him as well. James Shimo, Abby Corinne, Iman Frost, Kat Kellerk, Gerald Battaglia, Cody Hall, Robert Montano. Okay. Vanessa Fitzsimmons. I need to make my screen bigger.
I like how you got Vanessa Fitzsimmons and not Montano. You hit that perfectly, but not Montano.
Chuck a cup. Sean Chandler, Chris Adams, Robert Adams, Jarod Habon, and Cooper Barnes are the confirmed players in the first class league. And the first wave of matches is confirmed. We have Cooper Barnes v. David Campbell in singles, Jarod Habon v. Addie Corinne in singles. And
You put the same one twice.
did I? Oh, God. That makes sense that there's only 3 because it's supposed to be 2.
Cooper Barnes and David Campbell too happen.
They have a rematch immediately.
real quick.
And followed immediately by Jarod Habon and Abby Corinne again. But that'll be airing on the Movie Trivia Schmodown Twitch channel on Tuesdays. I know you and I both said we're going to try to keep up with First Class as best we can.
Hopefully they have a Spotify stream because that's the easiest way for me to listen to them.
I'd be surprised if they don't put it up there at the very least. I think it'll end up as a VOD on Twitch, which at least for me, now that I there's somebody I watch on Twitch weekly now. I've learned at least for me, you can lock your phone and still listen to it.
Yeah, that is an option.
So you could still just do what you do on Spotify, but with the VOD. Yeah. Is that everything?
Yes. Oh, Star Wars tournament. We don't know when it's. I don't know when it's happening.
Oh yeah. Can you pull up the list of
Yes.
players for the Star Wars tournament that also got announced tonight? That we don't know dick about.
I think it's just going to be in May. It'll probably be in May, and whoever wins gets a number 1 contender shot. I don't know. We need to watch the pay-per-view. But
Here's what interests me about that, though, is that we kind of already have our line of succession of who gets to fight who already. Because May
but
Damon
I don't think this is the only Star Wars tournament.
You think there's going to be a second one this season?
Yeah, because the team I think they're doing a bunch of mini tournaments, and then they're going to have the big one at the end.
I hope because the Star Wars tournament was the best part of last season, at least for me, obviously.
But that new teams tournament is only for a number 1 contender shot, and they've never done that before.
Yeah,
So I think that's where they're leaning in, especially because that's like an easy way to line up number 1 contender and title matches.
for sure.
So for the Star Wars tournament, we have Marie Wilson versus Gold Leader. So Gold Leader is getting that match that he wanted. Zach Burkett versus Adam Witt. Ace versus Sean Sullivan. And Thomas Harper versus Eric Whiteley or Whitley?
I think it's Whiteley.
Whiteley.
I could be wrong, but Star Wars tournament's going to be interesting. I'm going to say now, I got nothing but love for Sean Sullivan. Obviously, I'm pulling for him. I hate that the 2 people I like the most are going head to head at the very beginning of the tournament.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I'm in the same boat.
Yeah,
I was really impressed by Sean 2 weeks ago whenever he played.
I also do like Gold Leader though. We're going to be talking about some of Gucci's new recruits soon. But
yeah. But yeah, I'm assuming that's going to happen in May because it didn't get announced for April, unless it's starting also at the end of April. We'll find out.
Just on
probably
spec,
tomorrow.
just right off the dome, who do you have for Star Wars?
I don't know Burkett, I don't know Harper, and I don't know Whiteley. So I'm going to say, just on the numbers, I'm going to go Ace. I'm going to say Marie Wilson. I'm going to say Adam Witt just because I know who he is. I don't have a coin with me, so I guess
No, you're good. I was just saying, like, who do you think like the finals are?
I think the finals are Marie Wilson and Ace.
I agree with you.
Or it's going to be one of the person from that match and the other person from the other match. So it's either going to be some combination of Marie, your gold leader, and Sean and Ace.
I don't think the microphones picked it up, but I really wish the camera got your face. Do you want me to plug in mic 3 so that you can just like color commentary off in the middle of
If you
nowhere?
want to. I don't care. I can do it.
You have to turn yourself up too.
Ew, I didn't like that.
Where does it go?
Yeah, yeah, that
I
one.
couldn't see it for a second.
No, I didn't reason through that like your arm and the wire were gonna fall into the shot, so I got
That's why
distracted
I
by
did
that.
I went like this on purpose. How does it screw it in? Or...
No,
No,
Oh,
there it is.
Oh,
And then there's a black knob right under it.
This?
You're gonna turn it up a little bit.
I don't know which way's up.
to the right.
I'm not always smart. A little
I
bit?
can't always
Too
read,
much?
so it's okay. Just we don't have your headphones on.
Oh yeah, I can do that. That's a good
Sorry,
point.
I'm
We're just-
typing things.
It's okay.
I don't know how much I did it.
Listen, we were going into this episode expecting it to be a really, really long one. So like we might as well just pad out the episode's runtime.
Or- Yeah. I just took a quiz over here.
Yeah.
I got an 8 out of 10, which I'm not extremely happy about, but it made my grade go up a little bit. I still have a C though, but
You'll have to see it.
we love to see it. And not me, because I'm in the corner.
You could have come over.
I
and
don't
done.
want people to see me. This
Okay.
isn't my show.
That's
I mean,
fair.
it is now. Hey, folks.
It's always been your show.
Yes.
But yeah, I
Number
think,
one Capelter.
I think putting money on any of the top 4 people in that bracket would be fair.
Yeah, I'm partial to it being Ace and Marie though. That's where my money's at,
And that's fair.
I obviously Ace had his tournament run last year, so like it's kind of like a given to bet on Ace. But
I
yeah.
mean, it was also given to bet on Laura Kelly and Joseph Scrimshaw last year, so you know.
Yeah.
I guess really quick, teams tournament. I think everyone's kind of pulling for Rushmore and Danger Zone.
please,
I think that's just what everyone kind of.
do you have any idea how like hyped up a matchup has to be for me to look at a bracket that has a corruption team on it and go,
Just dismiss
I
it
want the
immediately.
dungeon and the exchange.
Just to dismiss everything else. Like you don't even look at it.
No, I do. I want to see. I mean, again, I would like to see Deception put in some work in that tournament. However, I don't know how that would derail the tournament though, because like if like let's say Deception wins it, do they still do the?
Yeah, they would still do it.
They would still have it be Deception v Corruption.
Yeah. Grace wouldn't be happy about it,
No,
but they'd do it.
I hope they all do their Hawaiian theme again.
I guess. Do you want to talk about anything else coming up in April? Or we're just going to leave that there for now.
I think that's all we really have for April.
I guess we'll talk about next week's matches at the end, but
Oh, like who we think is going to win next week?
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So jumping into this week's matches, I'm going to start out. This was not a great week for Corruption.
it was fine. It was okay.
Yeah, we
They
didn't
don't-
we
they
didn't win anything though. I'm upset.
We don't need much.
We got Video Drew versus Elliot Dewberry. Went up on March 24th.
I got a question that both competitors got wrong. I can retire champion now.
Which one was it?
Not Black Lightning.
Black
Black
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
That was I got that one wrong. I could not think of the title. Hell yeah.
I watched it at my friend's cabin once. Very good.
I love that.
I just I vividly remember going why is he fighting Was it Nixon or Reagan? I can't remember.
I want to say.
I think it's Reagan.
Yeah.
It's just
Go with that.
I'm like, why is he at the White House? What is going on? Glorious.
That said, Video Drew is.
Yeah, she did okay.
Yeah, I was,
I feel like that would have been. I'd listened to all these matches. I think that would have been a fun match to watch. Or except for we like half watched the Paul Preston match before we started because we didn't have a live event to watch.
Yeah, we have a live event to watch, and like I watched like a good quarter of the Paul Preston. Like actually watched it because it was dead at work for a few minutes, so I just pulled it up and watched a little bit of it. So yeah, I don't want to say that I consider Video Drew a novelty competitor because I don't.
I don't think she is. Not that she was before, because her and Tom did well as a team.
Yeah.
I think she's definitely like come into her own as a player, and I think she could compete. Right, like she's doing less character work during the match now. I think
she's melding it so much better too.
Mhm.
Like I remember watching her match where I was like, because I know last week I made that comment where, if the Schmodown was a movie or like a TV show or a narrative like that, Dan Murrell or John Roca are probably the main characters, right? In that same way, Video Drew has like officially become the like Deadpool or Harley Quinn of the Schmodown, where it's that like mildly self-aware, like I laughed my ass off multiple times throughout this match, and it was just she never stops being funny. You'd think eventually that bit would wear off, but it doesn't.
It helps that she was playing Elliot Dewberry too. Like it was just a fun match, Yeah. I said in the most deadpan expression.
Yeah. We also had our live event ripped from us, so I think everybody can understand. Harloff and Ellis said it earlier that given a few more big wins like what Drew had here, there had, she could be looking at a potential number one contender shot.
Yeah, I mean, if she keeps up that momentum, it could happen.
I think it'd be interesting. Like, we talked last week. We talked a lot on the show about how like there's like tiers within tiers, and I think Video Drew is probably one of the pinnacle players in the mid tier.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that you got to climb the ladder type thing. You don't stand a chance at going toe to toe with anybody in the top tier if you can't face down Video Drew at this point. Like I think she's solidly in that realm. Like Janine the Machine vicinity.
Yeah,
type thing.
I could see that.
Granted, I do think Janine is probably champion material.
I would say
if she would stop getting fucked by the wheel.
I would say Paul Preston might be in that range too.
I think that's a valid. I think you could say that
has a chance to break through. Like needs a couple of wins and they could break through to a championship shot. I could see that.
I would love to see Video Drew belted. That would just be so
lunacy. Could you imagine that speed round? Could you imagine?
The McCougar, whatever she kept calling
McCougar, I think.
McCougar, that's right. It didn't not make me laugh every time she said it.
I did not follow any of that stuff because the singles tournament's about where I clocked out last season. So that was just one of those like, yeah, this checks out. This makes sense for a storyline that's happening right now.
It was a great match. Dewberry will have a chance later in the season. I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. It was great matches this week, great trivia this week. As a corruption guy, I was disappointed this week. Both matches, I kind of dropped the ball. Granted, Corruption has their they get first dibs at whoever wins the tournament. KO's playing at the end in April, so there is light at the end of the tunnel for Corruption.
Yeah, they're fine.
But I need everybody to kind of step up their game a little bit. Just as a personal favor, I'd appreciate it if we could get back on track.
Nah.
You shut your dirty dungeon mouth. We had, for our second match this week, we had Christy v Rick Radis of the Stars and Finstock Exchange, respectively. And
So I'd like to pose a theory and put it into the void. I think
The Void is listening.
yes. I think that every rookie that Tom Dagnino drafted this season is actually just the same. It's a singular lizard person wearing different skin suits every match because they all have the exact same personality.
I wouldn't say exact same.
It like
Brother Lomas is a far cry from
that's fair, but they're all like
big characters.
not, and I mean literally with Brother Lomas, but like they're all preaching the Church of Finstock.
You are
Like they're spreading the good Finstock word.
What if Finstock has his own little like Heaven's Gate going on? Like what if Finstock has his own like Jared Leto cult going on? And like he's literally indoctrinating.
Their handshake is to Do-si-do for the 80-page Do-si-do.
Oh my god. I would give anything to get to look at Dagnino's dossier.
No, the dossier.
The dossier. But yeah, that was a great match. I love seeing people who play a big character who can back that shit up.
That's true. He did very well. I felt very bad because they kept trying to say that Christina navigated horror well. And I don't mean this as shade, but she didn't. And like
she got dealt a shit hand. Like,
yeah.
and he's kind of the reverse of what you were saying. I don't want to take away from the Ragers' performance in this match, but like, man, the wheel was doing him some favors. Like, he got a good category for him.
He got an okay category. I don't think he was actually that strong in, what was it? J-Lo?
Yeah, J-Lo.
Or something. Like, he was fine. Because he went to multiple choice several times. Definitely getting opponent's choice and just like, I feel like horror for Christina would have been like if I was playing Olden or Geekdom and got Star Trek. Or even worse, Lord of the Rings. Like,
yeah.
Just like I could basically answer 0 questions. Oddly enough, I did well with the horror questions.
Yeah, same. I have no idea how either of us did well.
I don't watch horror movies. I got the one Nightmare on Elm Street question I got before she went to like I just thought it.
Same. I was just like, it has to be Elm Street. I'm like, there's no other franchise I can think of that. But yeah, I like Gold Leader a lot. Or Gold Leader. God, see, you're right. It's all the same motherfucker. It's the same guy.
That was because like obviously Lomas is Lomas, but like specifically Gold Leader and this guy are the same person. They have to be.
Ironically, Rick Radis also has a bit of a Star Wars name with the whole Radis thing.
They're the same person.
The same person. Gold Leader, he named his alter ego Rick Radis with the Admiral Radis Easter egg in there. I think it was a good match to watch. I think that was my favorite insult anybody has ever levied against Tom Dagnino. The Jen Sturger had saying that Rick Radis looks like what would happen if one of Gucci's STDs grew up. You should have. Oh my god! You should have seen this match. Dude was just doing trivia in like a swivel chair, wearing a bathrobe. Like,
okay, he was. I was
no,
his player. I was confused. I didn't know which one because I listened to it. I didn't know which one of them was wearing the bathrobe, and I was concerned.
Good.
No, it was
I
gold.
don't like Gucci. No offense, anyway.
That you're not offending anybody. You want to see him wear a clown wig?
I'd rather not, but sure.
Okay, I'll show you later.
Okay.
We're getting there. But yeah, I enjoyed the match a lot. Moving on, we have Paul Preston of the Den and James White of Corruption. This was another like back and forth the pendulum goes type match.
The link is live.
There's a hair on this mic.
If you send me the link, I can listen through it while you talk, and I'll try to rebuttal.
Yeah.
I want to get these teams.
You just want to know the teams.
I gotta know. I want to know for the people.
By the people.
Made for people, by people, from people.
I can't. I'm too busy giggling at it. I'm trying to do like the big man thing, but I can't get past the giggle. The big man's back. www.thekidfrombrooklyn.com. It's big man time. Oh, good
May
God.
he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Gone too soon.
Heaven called
If
an
you don't
angel.
know, look it up, please. Do yourself a favor.
Heaven called back one.
And
of
if
his
you followed us from ye olden days, from the old shows, fucking Quaaludes.
Quaaludes!
you know
I
who
wouldn't-
probably has Quaaludes on hand?
Tom Dagnino.
This is definitely not a family show.
No,
Not even a little bit.
no. Anyhow, yeah, Paul Preston and James White's match. It was pretty much every match this week, kind of just a ping pong game going back and forth between them. Obviously, Paul Preston came out on top. Both of them had a perfect round one. I'm glad to see Paul Preston back in fighting form.
Very impressive because perfect rounds are not nigh this season.
Well, we haven't seen very many perfect rounds, and the very few perfect rounds that we've seen have happened with people who just had a perfect game period.
My eyes
Poor Riley. But yeah, and
What is that face?
That's the face of Mark Yodi Riley.
Oh.
Travis, any thoughts on Paul Preston v. James White?
Very good match. Glad to see Paul's back in fighting form. Again, we didn't really pay attention to much of the match. We were eating. But yeah, I'm glad he's back. Again, I think another player that could really go the distance if
100%.
he
Yeah,
to.
I would like to see it go down. I would like to see him get to that place. You're scaring me over there with that.
With what?
Just the match that I know it's all there.
Oh.
You know, I really wish we could have had this before it was the quarter after midnight. God damn it. Is it was my watch?
It's one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm tired, guys. Yeah, that's pretty much all we got because we don't have the live event for this week. So what we were expecting to be a very long show is not one. Are you scrubbing to try to find the? Hey, Lexi, we do a little bit of campus life here. What'd you get me for my birthday?
Diddly squat.
I got you masks that were yours.
Yes,
That you left in my car.
Yeah, I left my good masks in Travis's car.
I got you my friendship.
Yes.
I got you.
Okay, I got that answer.
Travis has knowledge that all of us long to have.
I got you this eyelash that's in my eye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Travis, while you scrub for that, let's
we'll
do
do
next
this.
week. Alex Damon v. the Barbarian. Who you got?
What?
Alex Damon v. Barbarian. Who you got?
Damon. but I think it's closer than like again, my money's on Damon. I think it's probably like a 55-45, maybe even a 50-50.
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched a lot of Barbarian's matches, but I know from what I've seen, he's really good.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be rooting for Alex Damon just because I think he's a good dude. And I also do want to see him and KO go head-to-head again. So if that can happen at the end of the month, I'd be happy because I do want to see Damon get a little bit more of a fighting chance against KO in the new Inner Geekdom. That used to be Spencer's shirt, but he accidentally bleached it and grew out of it, so he cut it up and turned it into a canvas to become a decoration.
That is very smart. I might do that with my shirts. Did they see me reach up to it?
No, it's
No.
just out of the shot by like a foot or
Okay.
two. It looks way closer than it is, but
That's cool.
Final Exam versus Shazam.
It's not even a question. Shazam.
Shazam.
Roka and JTE officially Rushmore.
Okay, officially we know for sure is okay.
Press room is Josh Horowitz and Perry Nemiroff.
Oh, that's good. I like that name too. For knowing it's them, that's phenomenal.
Lightning time is Liz Shannon Miller and Ethan Irwin.
I had a feeling that that's gonna be good. These teams are already just a couple.
Ben Goddard and Paul Preston. This is a stacked tournament.
Holy shit! What's the Den's team name?
The Outsiders. This is stacked.
All of these teams are just brick shit houses.
I wish I knew what you were talking about, but I do not, because I do not watch the Schmodown very much.
We'll have you as a correspondent for the Star Wars tournament.
Cool.
Obviously, Danger Zone.
John Harris and Eric Zipper for the midterms.
It's Zipper. Zipper's getting back into like main trivia.
He played in singles last season.
Yeah, he played in singles last season, but I normally just think of him as an IG guy, so I didn't think he was going to be back in the like mainline trivia this season. I'm assuming Deception's the same as last season.
Deception. Was Deception already a team?
Yes.
Okay, so it's still
Adam
Collins
Collins and Marcel McKee.
Yep.
Cool.
and Blackjack is Okay, it is Jacoby. I thought it was Jacoby because I thought I saw him tweet about it, but now we have confirmation. It's Janine the Machine and Jacoby.
All right, so running through it again one more time. From the top of that list.
Rushmore is Roka and JTE.
Okay.
I already forget who the press room
Press
was.
room is it Horowitz or something like that, and Perry Nemiroff.
Yeah, Horowitz and Perry Nemiroff. Lightning time is
Liz Shannon Miller and Drew McQueenie.
No, Liz Shannon Miller and Ethan Irwin.
Ethan Irwin, yeah. What? Yeah.
Outsiders is Ben Goddard and Paul Preston.
Yeah.
We know the danger zone.
Yeah.
Midterms is John Harrison, Eric Zipper, Black Jackal. Black guy. I'm going to do that every time. I have Black Jackals is a team from Haikyuu, and I have a hoodie of them. So like, it's just that's something.
Volleyball anime.
Whenever Blackjack plays, you
Highly recommend.
You got to wear the hoodie now.
So that's our teams. Finally.
That's going to be one hell of a tournament.
Also, I know who won the matches. And I was right. Somebody got TKO'd.
TKO'd or KO'd?
TKO'd.
TKO'd. Okay.
So it was only a -1, not a +1.
I'm probably going to watch it tonight after you guys. But yeah, did we get through? No, we didn't.
But yeah, anyway, final exam Shazam. Obviously, I'm putting my money on Shazam. I think they're in an even better position this season because now they're used to the digital format. I think they could do really, really well. I want to see them take their title back from the Odd Couple. because I love them so much.
I want to say Shazam because that's the team I want to see win.
Also, I think we missed the match from March.
We did, yes. The very
But-
end of March is Paige Fabriti versus Peggy Gubbins.
I don't know who either of them are, so
I'm just going to say the suspects because that's been a good way to bet so far this season.
that's true.
I want to see Shazam win because I like Shazam more, and I'm a big fan of William Bibiani, period. But going by the numbers of this season, Bibbs nor the kid are off to a great start.
But they weren't last season either, and they won. So
That's fair.
you know, I think they got their first matches out of their system. I do think Oyama is out for blood. Right? Oyama's really doing well this season, but I don't know that it'll be enough to beat both of them. Depends on how Lon is doing.
Yeah.
Because despite the demeanor, he is very good at trivia.
Yeah.
So I think again it's closer than I'd give it credit for, but I my money's on Shazam and I want them to win. So I guess we'll skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Really
This
quick.
is Tingle of Swag and Lieberman of the Exchange.
That's for the following week.
Yeah.
I just want to look at we'll save talk about Brandon Hanna and Robert Parker for close to the match, but I think it's going to be an interesting talk and an interesting match.
Of like the matches of the month.
That's probably my highlight that isn't a pay-per-view.
Yeah, not counting pay-per-views. Like I have my eye on Ben Goddard and JTE.
I feel like that's like a little mismatched. Assuming JT's still in like fighting form.
I think that's what makes it so interesting though. Because Ben Goddard, I also think, like Paul Preston, like Janine, like Video Drew, has the potential there. I think Ben Goddard could be that.
I think he could be where they are, but he isn't there yet. And
Yeah.
that has to do with the fact that his rookie season was COVID season. So
I think pairing like, brawler that could be with brawler that was and may or may not still be is an interesting matchup. And I'm really interested to see how that goes. And again, like I'm just happy to have Little Evil back, man. Like just this season, JTE, that excites me so much.
Hannah and Parker is going to be a wild match because I really don't know how it's going to go. If it's Kalinowski and Damon, who you got?
If it's KO and Damon, especially in the new IG, I feel like I favor KO. Like not even just because it's KO.
I'm curious to see how he plays in the new IG.
That's why I'm so excited for it. Because like he knocked out Damon last season in like old school IG. So that's why I'm like, I want to see now that we have kind of like a matchup that we see how it can go.
We saw how Mara adapted to the new IG, and she very well. So I'm curious if Mike's going to follow suit. And because like he's shown before, he has the knowledge of those weird, like the Phantom and shit, like these old weird movies that he loves that were only fringe in IG, and now you could hit them very easily as a question, and I think that will favor him more.
I'm thinking about this now. I feel like the new IG is really well suited for Mike Kalinowski. Like him in particular as an IG and a singles player.
Yeah.
Like, cause like shit like Terminator and the Apes movies and Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, whatever, all that shit is already so well nested into just like an action adventure and like other mainline, sci-fi fan, other stuff that just kind of like ends up in like the normal singles or teams wheels that I feel I would be surprised if KO doesn't do well here.
I think that stuff is in the realm of things that a player like someone like KO likes offhand, but knows he doesn't have to study that hard because it's very like you maybe get one or two Indiana Jones questions a match in old IG. And now you're getting, at least one guaranteed a match almost.
Because like Swashbuckle.
Yeah. And those kind of movies, if you already knew them, you could just study them. Like you don't need to go that much harder into studying. You're going to have that information already. So Yeah, I feel like in that match, regardless, I'm probably gonna have my money on Kalinowski, unless somehow he totally flops it and isn't ready for the new IG. But I find that really hard to believe.
I'm just really excited. Another reason why I'm so excited and so badly want it to be Kalinowski and Damon is that they're so very much like the really fun players to watch in the old IG, right? Because they went in with their like, I know a lot about everything on this wheel, but blank, blank, and blank are my like, keep this away from me. Like, here's where I'm going with Spinner's Choice. So the fact that it is so broad now that Killer can't rely on DCEU.
But he can still rely on DC.
He can still rely on it, but there's not that like 2 out of 9 slices are the same fandom essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think I've heard a Star Wars question in IG yet. So Damon can't even go in like holding that minigun that he has as a player of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I mean like that. It's diluted now for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like again like one,
but they both pick up Indiana Jones.
They
both pick up swashbuckling in general. I feel like it balances out, and I still favor KO a little bit, but. And I mean, I haven't seen Barbarian play in this. I feel like Barbarian's in the same boat, like you, because Barbarian's also an incredible singles player, where being in both readies you a little more for the new IG. But
yeah, for sure.
We will see in a month. How do you think Odd Couple's going to do on their title shot? Because I think it'll all depend on how Jeff Snyder is feeling. Because that's the first time Jeff Snyder will be playing
since
his loss to Merle. So either he's going to come back like wanting to prove something, or he's going to come back wanting none of it and already being in a bad headspace. I feel like. I think
Jeff has enough time to get ready for. Knowing that he's on a pay-per-view again, I feel like he's just going to be, eat thunder, crap, lightning in Snyder moment, and he's ready to rock and roll. How excited are you for the flick pick to play? Because I was not expecting to see Flickinger this early in the season. I really thought
I was surprised they didn't have him play sooner. Actually,
really,
yeah, I thought he would be one of the like midweek matches, for like this month. I'm glad he's I'm excited. I'm glad he's playing for the dungeon because I like the dungeon and I like him. And I'm excited to see him play. I'm curious.
Bring back Stuckman, you motherfuckers.
That you would get a lot of tickets sold.
Oh my God. Can you imagine Flick picking Stuckman on a team?
That would be, I think that would be on a team. Oh my God. But as an even if they weren't on the same faction as an undercard match, I feel like that could sell a lot. Like having them play each other for a pay-per-view.
If Stuckman came back, if I were a manager and Stuckman came back, that's my first round pick. That like Chris Stuckman are the first words I say.
I think you take him in free agency. I think you take him in the second free agency.
Oh yeah, if he's like confirmed like in the free agency pool, I take him during free agency. But if I were in the position of a manager where it's like, oh, I have like an established team or I have a champ. Aside from that, I bring him in immediately, like first round pick. If I can get to him first, I'm bringing him in. So bring back Chris Stuckman.
I mean, of course, that's if he has time for it and he wants to. And it's easier now because he doesn't have to fly out to California.
Yeah, just do the matches digitally. Put asses in seats. Real quick. I do want to address with the elephant in the room that is the free-for-all. There's a graphic for the free-for-all. I was considering just putting everybody who's on the graphic writing them down. I don't want to do that yet. I want to wait till we have a slow drip come in of more people. But for the free-for-all, so far, the only people we have 100% confirmed are Ben Bateman, Dan Merrill, William Bibiani, and I'm pretty sure we know that Adam Collins is going to be competing in the free-for-all as well.
I feel like there's no way he couldn't.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way Shannon does not put in Mike
KO,
Collins and
yeah,
Chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably Marisol as well. Because I don't know if they're putting a cap on how many competitors each faction can put in.
Everyone gets 5. It's 40 competitors, so everyone would get 5.
Oh shit! Okay, so like Collins, KO, Chance, Marisol. There's still a slot open.
Yeah, I mean they could pick whoever they wanted.
Yeah.
Mercs will take, Bibiani, the kid. Dungeon will probably throw in Video Drew, and
I know she's on the graphic, so
yeah, I mean, like, granted, they might throw random other people in because, like, Smets played in the free for all 2 years ago. Like, you don't have to be a singles player, and I'm sure that means they're throwing in questions from IG and Star Wars. If they throw in a Star Wars question, that'd be really funny, but they'll be throwing in Intergeekdom questions too. I'm pretty sure because, like, now they're general enough that, like, you can just be like, yeah, it's a Planet. Like, Planet of the Apes shows up in both.
Yeah,
Wizarding World was on the wheel.
I hope they go with like a pulled out of a Star Wars match Star Wars question, where you just have like a stage full of just normal singles players who are like, now tell us who's on the Jedi Council, Mr. Bibiani.
It's Bibiani, Ben Bateman, Dan Merle, and Adam Collins up there, and they're like, okay, in the category of Star Wars tools and vehicles,
give us the alphanumeric designation for a TIE fighter.
What color?
No.
But yeah, I will be very interested to see who plays in that. I actually did go back and watch all of the free for all from 2019 because after Shazam started playing, like, I want to get the context of how these two happened. Now I'm excited for this one. It makes me very happy.
I agree. Well, with that, I think that's all we have for you guys this week. Next week, we'll be able to talk about Liz Shannon Miller and Roka and Bateman and Yodi. Alas, this week that was not in the cards, but we still do have a show coming out for you. And a little programming note for Sunday, Knights of the Nerd Republic will not have a new episode. We're going to be putting on an episode of the Versus series because we won't have time to record tomorrow. So,
Birthday party teams.
And this time I won't poison and accidentally almost murder any of my friends.
I don't think you almost accidentally murdered.
Oh yeah, it
anyone,
definitely wasn't that bad.
but maybe a little bit of alcohol poisoning.
I'm
Mild.
fine.
His liver's fine.
I haven't had any problems since. So
He hasn't drank that
I
much
was going to
or
say,
at
have
all
you ever
since
consumed any
that
alcohol
was
since
in
4th of July?
July.
I mean, I don't know that I'll be drinking tomorrow night anyway. So I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
I'll be
fair.
okay.
That's fair.
Take off work.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I'll do it. Don't tempt me.
Take off work.
Take off.
We'll see what happens. We'll see how I wake up. Because, man, I thought about it today. I woke up today and I was like,
Why would you do it today when you can do it tomorrow?
Do it tomorrow.
because I woke up today and
You've
then
heard
didn't want
it.
to wake up.
You heard
it. To the mic.
I tried.
Here's
to,
what-
I'm a lady.
Okay, here's what I need you to do.
What?
When y'all leave, wherever y'all go, you'll be like, let's watch the live event. Just keep them up. Keep them up late.
so I die.
Let's
Yeah.
watch the Snyder Cut again. Strap
On the
it
contrary, that would.
Puts, like
Oh
those
yeah.
like things on his eyes to keep him open. Like what are they called? Clothespins. Like freaking Tom
could-
and Jerry.
You could give me like 2 bangs and a line of Coke, and the Snyder Cut would put me right the fuck to sleep.
We'll see about that. Don't threaten.
Okay,
a good time.
unrelated to like almost anything. Christian Harloff's new Twitter avatar is badass.
Well, it's his
The Sith
Secret.
Council,
but
it
it's
looks
like,
redder.
it's like drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what though, his new profile on the Schmodown Facebook page is pretty great.
Rar.
Ew, why?
It's just a picture of a lioness.
Like an actual lion?
Yeah.
Like a lioness.
Yeah.
Female lion.
yes.
I like it.
The under orders from his new boss for story purposes.
Why?
Because she just likes fucking with Harloff.
How is that messing with anybody?
Because she's like,
She forced him to change his Facebook
Because she's now the president of the Schmodown. The big air quotes, like all plotline drama shit.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about any of the prank call was hilarious.
Oh my god, the prank call. I want the prank call thing just like released on its own as a short film. Like I would watch like a Gucci show.
Ew.
That's just him being lost in the world.
I think Lon's been schmobenatied a little bit. I think that was it. I think that was the only thing. Also, I think they're dropping the Swag Surrection storyline because I think they just got. I think they realized they couldn't really go anywhere with it, or they didn't find anyone to actually replace Winston, and so they have to like stall it until they.
I think it might come back at the end of the season to add a faction. I think if Winston sticks around and he can still keep working this into his schedule, because again, like I'm like, and you know, we're basing a lot of our speculation with the Schmominati and Swag Surrection plot lines around the fact that Winston Marshall openly said that like his schedule is really difficult these days and that like it is a very, very hard effort on his part to keep the Schmodown a part of it, which shouts out to Winston Marshall for doing that because you're a very valued part of this sport and you're awesome. If he manages to like stick around for another year, I think they might spin off the Swag Surrection plot into another faction, and I would not mind that.
Yeah,
and it'll be called the Droning Broogs. Anyway,
the Droning.
I did that on purpose.
I know you did.
Anyway,
Lexi,
what?
Where can the living people find you?
Oh, you're finally ending again?
Yeah.
It's
It's like the Snyder Cut. It has 18 fucking endings.
This is a movie that never ends. This is a family show. No, it's not. The lovely people can find me on Twitter at Lexi Lion 98 and Acapella 98 on Instagram. How about Travis?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Travis Political and on Twitch on Wednesdays. I say at 8 p.m. It's usually like 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Between 8 and 9 p.m.
On Twitch at BlackLeader439. I was playing Pokemon and I lost. So now we're playing other things. I think the weather got warm, and I remembered this time last year when in my crazed quarantine state, even though I wasn't really quarantined, I got really deep into Assassin's Creed, so I'm playing Assassin's Creed 2.
What if instead of follow me?
Okay.
Since we're not doing an Assassin's Creed Valhalla review.
Yeah, at this point, like we've missed that boat.
It's over.
Maybe when the DLC comes out, we'll talk about it.
Maybe, or
because I am gonna play it.
We just do the review on Twitch. Just let it be a spin-off episode.
Just let it. Like we'll just bullshit about it while we play.
No.
We all had enough of A4 for.
I've had enough of A4
for a couple years.
Jarod.
Yes.
Where?
You guys can find. You guys can find me.
La biblioteca.
There it is. That's my favorite sentence in the entire Spanish language. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552, celebrating my birthday and getting a new tattoo.
Your birthday was like 2 days ago. Get over yourself.
No,
I'm just kidding.
no, I have. I'm being that bitch. I got my birthday's 3 days long. Okay,
are you a birth week boy?
I am. I'm a birth couple days. I'm not gonna do
a birth week because my birthday is Christmas Eve. So like, people forget and then remember and forget and remember for like 5 days.
Well, everybody's birthday got ruined by COVID, right? I was so excited because I'm a year, with the exception of like you and Mike, a year older than all of you guys. Or just like skewed enough age-wise that like I couldn't celebrate my 21st birthday with anybody. Like I had Kaysen, but like that was just luck of the draw. Like at that point, like everybody else is scattered to the wind.
I think I was the only one who was able to this year to have an actual 21st because it was right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then I went to Florida.
Yeah, like you had, yeah, exactly. Like you got to go right under that wire. So like my 22nd birthday was like supposed to be the year that I could just like be with all of my friends and it's like, it's a birthday party, woo. But then like my 22nd and everybody's 21st just got right at the knees. So it's kind of why I'm so excited for tomorrow is like everybody gets to have like a second 21st birthday.
Yeah,
In a
I
way.
even feel it too. Even though like I kind of had mine, I didn't get to go out after that. You know? I went out a couple times and then I couldn't. So
Yeah.
My 21st birthday, I bought alcohol at Walmart and didn't get carded and found that I could have been buying alcohol a lot sooner. And then watched The Room very drunk with Spanish subtitles.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
What is Spanish for? I did not hit her. It's not true. I did not hit her.
Do you think I
did
remember
not.
any of that movie?
I'm not looking at you.
Listen, I'm too tired for this.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on that. I promise you.
Open invite to either of you, and then I promise I'll end the show. That The Room is probably going to be the first episode we do on Movie Club for April.
This is the show that never ends.
Jared, what?
You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page. Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Casey Brion, the Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, Zach and Nassio, guys, help us produce the content.
Yep.
We love to... Fuck!
You did really
You
good.
did really good. I was like, oh, where's Chuck a Cup at? There it was.
You guys help us make the content we love to produce. Be sure to check out the $5 tier where you can check out our exclusive shows. Knights of the Nerd Republic Versus series. This month was Darth Malgus versus Kyle Katarn. April will be Executor Cedrus versus the Grand Inquisitor. Check out Heroic History 101. We did Sam Wilson Captain America for February. We're doing the New 52 Justice League for March. Oh yeah, audio commentaries for Movie Club. You just completely, I was zooming and it's gone now. Click on the student store link so you can get shit with our faces and our logo on it. Smash Cancer, we love you. Goodbye.